Welcome in, Flex Machine. Man, what a win. Heading on to the Maui Invitational Final. We're giving this another minute. Broome 2020 game. Is that official? Yeah, 23-19. Did they give him one extra? All right, we're going live. All right, about to go live here in just a moment. Just getting some technical stuff figured out. All right. All right, everyone. Welcome in to the Jungle podcast. I'm your solo host this evening, late evening, morning, whatever day it is. But you know what? As the great prophet John Rothstein always says, we sleep in May. What a win for your Auburn Tigers, taking down North Carolina. Final score, I'm all over the place here. Final score 85-72 in Maui in the semifinal game, heading now to play Memphis in the finals tomorrow afternoon at a reasonable hour. Thank the Lord. This is going to be short and sweet, but man, what a win. What a gutsy performance. We got some people rolling into the chat here. We are live on YouTube. We got Flex Machine. We are 6-0 with three quad one wins already. Also, that being against three top 15 teams, which is wild to think that last year we at halfway through the season or whatever point in the season had zero quad one wins. I mean, I can't remember the exact total of how many quad one wins we had that year, but it was so low that the fact that we have this many now is unbelievable. This team just throws so much at you over the course of the game. You know, that first half, Janai Broome was looking like the National Player of the Year that we all know and expect him to be. He came in and was absolutely dominant. They did not have a single answer for him. He was getting rebounds into the basket. He was absolutely taking all the boards. He was doing everything, to keep this team and to elevate this team. And was looking like the National Player of the Year at that point. Yeah, Gibbs, I think Janai's got to be the MVP. I mean, I think we all can pretty much agree that he's going to be the MVP of this tournament, as well as the MVP of tonight's game as well, too. What a win. This team, as I mentioned earlier, just throws so much at you. You know, Janai at the beginning of the game, there were points in that first kind of wave and period where Chad Baker was hitting threes. Miles Kelly had a couple. Tahad Pettiford hit a couple from the top of the key. These guys, we just throw so much at teams that when they try to find an answer for Janai, that second half, he did not have any touches or many opportunities to score. And that's just because we kept getting him the ball. They kept trying to double team, and they were leaving guys like Miles open, Denver, Chad, and we were just hitting shots. And that's what we can do to teams. Just they try to find an answer for Janai. They double him, guys are wide open. And he did such a good job of getting these guys the ball, to hit those shots, and they were wide open. And when guys like Miles Kelly, Denver Jones, even Chad, when they have their feet set, I mean, it's game over. And they were just hitting those shots in the second half to really pull us away. At one point, we're up by 18. And I think at that point, North Carolina kept trying to come back, got it down to 9, I believe, at one point. But we just had too much and we were throwing too much at them. Um, yeah, I'm not going to get much into the refs, but they were really bad. I've seen a couple of those refs at Auburn, or sorry, Neville Arena a couple times, but they were really soft. And there were some soft calls. There were a lot of flops. North Carolina did this weird thing. I don't know if y'all noticed this too, where they kept grabbing. Denver, it happened to Denver twice. I know they said that wasn't a hook and hold, but I mean, why did that guy keep doing that to Denver? That was crazy. He kept trying to uppercut him and grab him and pull him in. But, the way that these guys just exerted so much energy gosh, Monday night. Um, and the fact that they came out and hit North Carolina right in the mouth just shows this team and this coaching staff had just an excellent game plan from the very beginning. They had no answer for Janai. I mean, absolutely zero answer for Janai. And they were North Carolina smaller. They lost Baycott. They lost a couple other guys. And they were very guard heavy with Davis. And they just that's how they came back last night against Dayton. They shot the ball well. They, really took it to Dayton in that second half, and we withstood those runs. And we kept, putting onto the lead and keeping the lead and things of that nature. Got the chat saying here, Chris Thomas, War Eagle, what a win, staying in control from start to finish. Really did. There were points where they kept getting it close, but I don't know about y'all. I never really had a doubt that they were going to get a lead and keep it. North Carolina, that is. Every time they came back, we always had an answer, whether that was Janai on a putback and a rebound, whether that was Janai rebound, kick out, three-pointer. We always had an answer. And that's what's really incredible about this team is that when we get hit in the mouth, when there starts to be a run, we are going in there and we are answering almost every type of run that these teams had. You saw it in the Houston game. You saw it in the game last night against Iowa State. And even today, they absolutely had an answer. I think when North Carolina cut it to 10 or 9 at one point, Denver Jones came in and just had an absolutely beautiful three-pointer to keep get the game at double digits arm length. I'm going to find the box score here and get that pulled up to review. Let me know in the chat what y'all's thoughts were on Chaney Johnson tonight. I absolutely thought that Chaney had an incredible game. He still just flies under the radar. I mean, to us at this point now, I don't think he flies under the radar because he keeps setting that bar higher and higher and higher. And that bar keeps going higher and he keeps elevating himself to that. In the offseason, we all talked about what the four position is going to look like. And I was very critical of the position when Janai kept getting rolled out at the four. I'm like, I don't like Janai at the four. He just continues to jack up threes. We're not getting the ball in the post. Tonight, that completely washed my opinion on it for the time being because even with Cardwell in the game, they were finding the opportunity in that first half to give Janai the ball on the block. What I loved in the second half is that Janai was getting the ball at the top of the key, and we were running stuff down below, some flex action with Chaney, and Chaney cuts into the paint and across the lane so hard and beats the defender there almost every time and gets the ball and makes a play. And teams aren't prepared for that. I don't know if that's going to be discovered, throughout the year at some point, but as tape comes out about the team or whatever. But our flex cut actions when we get the ball at the top of the key, whether it's Janai or Dylan, having the ball at the top of the key, Miles Kelly, Cheney, they are cutting so hard and just beating these guys, and they have no shot. And by then, we either are hitting a layup or we are stopping, pump faking, and they're going right into us for a foul and an and one almost every time. And Cheney was so good at that tonight of getting his body in position. Um, I know we all hear throughout the offseason just how good he is at getting his body, ready, getting his body, and it shows. And it showed towards the end of last year, and he just continues to improve and improve game in and game out. Trying to find the box score here to go over some key stats. I mean, the biggest stat of the night, Jedi Broom, almost a 2020 game. Just incredible. I mean, what else can you say about him? Here we go. We got box score here. This isn't a good one. They haven't posted it yet, but just to give us something to go off of here. So just looking at Auburn's stat line from what we have here from this perspective, I mean, Janai Broom, 33 minutes after full body cramping last night, by the way, which is incredible. Um, you know, 33 minutes, 23 points, 19 rebounds, unbelievable. Some other key stats. I mean, look how many guys we had in double figures. Miles Kelly, 15, Chad Baker, 14, Denver Jones, 10, Chaney Johnson, 11, Tahad Pettiford, 10. Just hitting guys in the mouth over and over with these guys. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's go to the chat for a minute here. Scott Stuart Bullington, great game, but what a ref show. Yeah, I mean, that's been the story of Maui. I think I saw someone earlier say Dan Hurley had a point that we were getting called with so many over the backs. It was crazy. But yeah, ref show. We didn't get a lot of calls. I mean, the fact that first half we had 7 fouls, they had zero. I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean, how can you not call a foul within 14 minutes of the start of a game? And then it took Chris Moore almost getting beheaded by the ball to call a foul. Unbelievable. Um, Flex Machine, this was CJ's coming out party. I mean, he's been doing this all year, though. I think just the fact that it's at this stage and against this type of competition, Jackson has called out plenty of times that he wanted to see how Chaney did in big time moments, big time games. We saw him do this against Houston. Had foul trouble last game against Iowa State. Didn't see it that much. Came out today when all the focus was on Janai and coming off the bench having 8 rebounds, 11 points, 3 assists. I mean, oh, can't forget that block either. That was shades of Chuma blocking Nasir Little in the Sweet 16 game in 2019. I mean, guys, sky's the limits for Chaney. I'm super pumped about what he's doing. Um, Sam Baker, JP is a traffic just cone on defense and very good at dribbling between his legs on offense. Yeah. Um, uh, the JP Pegues situation is an interesting one, and I'm not going to hate on the guy because I still think that he's getting thrown out there in this sort of competition that he's not used to at a level. Um, I think he's still catching up to speed of the game. I mentioned on an earlier podcast this year, I'm going to give him time to cast judgment, throw stones, wherever you want to say. But there is a lot of red flags that I think are very concerning for a lot of people. Um, you know, the offensive inability is very concerning of the fact that like you can't get past the first defender almost ever in any game I've seen so far. And one of the biggest scouts on JP in the offseason was the ability for him as a pick and roll point guard at whatever level he was at. I think he was like number one in the portal. I mean, we're 6 games in. I haven't seen that once. So I would agree. The dribbling between the legs, the offense really slows down. And I don't know if it's on design. I mean, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna cast judgment to see if um, there were points tonight where you could see Bruce was looking at him like, slow it down, and they started running some stuff with him at the point. So maybe that's by design. I don't know, but let's give him a little bit longer before we completely cast him off. Um, Do we think Janai will get another shot once we get out of this gauntlet? Or sorry, Jakai Howard. That's TBD. I don't really know if anybody knows much about the situation besides the coaching staff, but the fact that he hasn't been getting any run, really him or Turtle, they were getting run those first couple of games. Well, I guess first game of the year. So I think there was a plan to have him play. I think they're still in a punishment type period. And last night, I guess I would say it was an emergency type situation. Um, yeah, JP getting this many minutes will be an issue down the stretch. So far, he has added zero on offense and has been negative on defense. Yeah, again, it's concerning. Let's give it a little longer to really cast judgment there, but um, I'm concerned, definitely concerned about it. Um, Yeah, Pat Adams was doing the Bama Houston game. Uh, as a regular attendee at Neville Arena, Pat Adams gives me nightmares of the amount of times he calls, and that Alabama Houston game was brutal in terms of the calls there too. Um, yeah, what a win tonight. Moving on to the Maui Invitational Final. I don't think I've ever thought in my lifetime I would say that. But here we are playing against Memphis. He, I mean, Memphis is sneaky good. I think they've caught a lot of people's attention. Now, I'm going to give, I'm not going to say Memphis is overrated, but Michigan State is not as good as people project them to be. I mean, they're not even ranked. And I think that's um, I don't think they're as good as people think they are. UConn, they're struggling right now, struggling big time. So, this is going to be a big test for Memphis too. They've never played against guards like Auburn's that are going to get up in their face. That's the only way Memphis has won these past few games is just how good those two guards are, and how good they shoot. So, Auburn's ability to guard and get over this 3-day stretch. Playing this many minutes and playing this hard, um, it's going to be interesting to see how we handle that tomorrow. Um, you know, Memphis is going to have a lot more rest. They played earlier today. Auburn playing late tonight. Going to be a little bit of a closer tip for us there. But look, this is crazy. Andrew Stone says, "What a time to be alive!" It is. This is incredible. The fact that we went out, beat the number 5 team in the country, we beat a blue blood like a drum tonight. If you wrap it all, tie it all as a bow, beat them like a drum. And now we go on to face Memphis for the Maui Invitational Final, and have put college basketball on notice that we have 3 top 15 wins. Um, 2 of those against quote unquote some of the best defenses in college basketball. We're still figuring out rotations, things like that. And yet here we are playing for the ability to get cemented in one of college basketball's most storied uh, non-conference tournaments. I mean, you looked in the banner tonight, you saw Duke, you saw Gonzaga, you saw North Carolina, Kansas. How incredible would it be tomorrow to now have Auburn up there and have a picture of Janai Broome on that for the rest of time? That's one of the coolest things ever. And we have the ability to do that tomorrow night, which is unbelievable. Just a couple more things here in the chat, and then we'll wrap it up because it is late and I'm tired and we got more hoops tomorrow. Um, Flex Machine, I'm also worried about Denver, not like skill wise, but he has lost his mental ability down the stretch. We were lucky we were up so much. Yeah, that's Denver has been thrown in a position that I don't think he knew he was going to be thrown into when he transferred here 2 years ago. Um, yeah, obviously we had two point guards last year. As the season went on, there grew to be some concern. Also, pocket watch. I'm Ryan, not Matt, but yes, the we have to log in as Matt to do these. But the streak has to keep going, man, and we'll fight. We, as John Rossing says, we'll sleep in May. But the thing with Denver is he's still learning the point guard position, which is incredible to think about. The fact that he is basically our number one point guard, whether we like it or not, on a team that's going to be ranked in the top three, maybe two next week. And he still is learning and growing the position. So, yes, there are some mental lapses, but last night, I know we like to focus on the here and now, but last night, he got down to the lane. He was the reason, part of the reason why Janai um, got that last second shot in was he made a great move. He got downhill. He knew the point of time in the clock. So yes, it's a small sample size, but he showed last night against Iowa State that he has that ability to do that. And just the way that the offense flows with him, he's not a slow it down, dribble it out type point guard. Like the offense is moving when he's running the one. And so throughout the game, the ball's flowing really well. I really liked there was a lineup tonight with Janai at the five, Chaney at the four, um, Chad Baker at the three, Miles Kelly at the two, and Denver at the one. And that's when we really stretched the lead out to about 18 or 19. Can't remember the exact number there. But man, we were running some really, really good stuff on offense. And that's because the ball was really moving well with Denver. You then see a traditional quote unquote point guard like JP come in and it really kind of sticks and slows down. Or even Todd. I mean, the ball moves quickly with Todd, but he's still learning. He's still figuring it out. The fact that he had 10 points tonight against North Carolina as a freshman, going into um, this gauntlet of the schedule with Tahad, he's not folding. He's not backing down. And that's what I love about him. So yes, the point guard position is not as concerned right now as I thought it would be, because we just have so many options we can go to that I don't really know if a traditional point guard right now is needed, like it was in the past. So something to keep an eye on moving forward, when when we're going on that way. So let's tie this thing up with a bow, ladies and gentlemen. This has been fun. We had planned to have a couple more people on here tonight, but people had fell asleep or had to get up early for work tomorrow. So we're just going to quickly go over just a couple of team totals. Auburn shooting 43% from the field, 37% from the three. Free throw percentage, 82.3. Beautiful. We love to see that over 80%. I think one thing that's really stuck out tonight and over the past couple games is Janai's free throw shooting. Tonight he was 3 of 4. Last night he shot really well. Of course, the announcers jinked Denver Jones. I don't know why people put these things in the atmosphere. I think they love to see people miss free throws when they haven't missed them before. But it's whatever. But just an incredible win. You've got to solidify Auburn as now a top 3-2 team. They're not going to move Kansas out of the number one spot, unfortunately, but we have the opportunity to do something that I never thought would be possible. We have the opportunity to win the Maui Invitational. We have the opportunity to go fly to Durham, North Carolina, and go to Cameron Indoor Stadium and play Duke as a top 3 team, and possibly be favored in that game, which is crazy to think about. Um, but to wrap it all up, your Auburn Tigers 85, North Carolina 72. Auburn will play tomorrow or today, my goodness, in the Maui Invitational Final. Do we have that tip-off time yet? Let's see what time the tip-off is for tomorrow. Man. I believe it's at 4 Central. But we'll tweet that out once I'm able to think straight and can um figure out exactly what time we play tomorrow. But what a win, guys. Enjoy this. It doesn't get better than Feast Week. This is March Madness in November. Um, yeah, thank you, Mr. Beautiful. This is why we love. This is why you're beautiful, Mr. Beautiful. 4 p.m. tomorrow. Hey, also, I see you're worried about Duke. I think I like our chances against Duke. I think we match up really well against them. They're a matchup problem. We're a matchup problem for them. I know everybody's like talking about Cooper Flag, whatever, but they're gonna have trouble guarding Janai Broom. They're gonna have trouble with a lot of our motion on offense. I don't think that moment's gonna be too big for us either. The fact that we've gone to Maui, the fact that we've gone to Houston, I like it, man. It's gonna be fun. I used to be worried about these things, and after last night and after tonight, I am not. I'm not worried about this team anymore. This team has fight in them. No matter how big we get down, they're never out of the game, and they can withstand runs. I'm excited. This is going to be such a fun year. Everybody rest up. We'll see you back tomorrow after the game for the championship pod. Whatever the result is, we'll go live and we'll talk through it. Appreciate everyone's support of the channel. Make sure you're subscribing to the Jungle Auburn Basketball Podcast here on YouTube, on podcast on Jackson. What if we get the #1 ranking and Duke storms the court on us? Then I will get a tattoo. I'll get an Auburn Jungle Podcast tattoo wherever you want it. Well, I won't say that on either my back or my shoulder. Um, I will get a tattoo of this fine podcast somewhere in that area if we beat Duke and they storm the court on us. But yes, we'll see everyone here in a little bit. Everybody rest up. Everybody consume your Auburn podcast. Subscribe. Uh, Shout out to Ben who runs all of our socials. Oh, it is on record, AU Bear. That's why I'm putting this out in the universe. I want that to happen. I'll get it like right here. No, not a face tattoo. Like on my back. I'll do uh I get like Jackson's signature on there too. I'm sure my wife would love that. All right, this has been fun, guys. Appreciate everyone's time. Subscribe, like the channel. Let's all go get some sleep and War Damn Eagle.